Jake Paul versus Platinum Mike Perry, and what many believe will be Jake Paul's toughest opponent to date. The fight community makes their surprising predictions for this fight. Let's get into it. This isn't the first time Jake Paul and Mike Perry shared a ring together. Jake Paul went viral after posting pieces of a sparring session he had with Mike Perry where Jake claimed to beat up on Mike Perry.
Good job, dude. Keep my eye.
No, it's good, bro. Good work.
Clearly, the entire sparring session was not revealed, and once the fight was confirmed, Mike Perry has been forced to respond to these sparring session claims. In a recent interview with Michael Bisping, Perry detailed exactly what happened during the infamous sparring bout.
Let's do one. And when he hit, I remember they coming down, split my guard. Damn, man. As I come back, I'm like this. Oh, that was a good one. Here. And they were like, oh yeah, you're a sniper. All the people on the outside of his crew, they stopped saying that shit by the fourth round. They stopped all that. So it was basically one good shot he got you with. Maybe one or two, yeah, but not too much. And then he started running into my shit because he moves his head. Those boxers do, and I started timing him. I would throw the jab, he would slip, rip the uppercut, he would flip his head right into it. He took some good shots from me too. Mine don't stop, they keep coming. And he was fighting an 8-round boxing fight, and we only sparred for 6 rounds because he was breaking. Nice.
Eddie Hearn has always been an outspoken critic of Jake Paul's boxing career and has never really respected his boxing skills. The two have developed somewhat of a rivalry over the years, but in a recent interview with Ariel Helwani of the MMA Hour, Eddie Hearn predicted Jake to beat Mike Perry rather easily.
2 last quick ones. Jake Paul, Mike Perry. You think Mike pulls it off? You think Mike... are you familiar with Platinum Perry?
I've never seen Mike Perry fight. Isn't he a welterweight or something?
Well, he fought in the UFC at 170, but in bare knuckle, he's fought at 185, and this is a cruiserweight fight.
And what's the fight at?
Cruiserweight.
200 pounds?
Yes.
He's got absolutely no chance. I mean...
But he's a bare knuckle champion. He's the face of bare knuckle. Come on. Have you seen this guy bare knuckle?
Ariel, this is... You told me Francis Ngannou was going to beat Anthony Joshua.
And I just said...
Stop falling in love. Stop falling in love with your UFC fighters and let. But look, I don't know Mike Perry, but I know apparently he's a tough man. Obviously, he is a tough man.
Yeah.
So I wish him all the best. I actually bumped into Jake in Puerto Rico. It's quite funny.
Oh.
I was having dinner in the hotel that I was staying at. Is actually where he lives on the resort, and I was just having dinner, and I felt a tap on my shoulder, and I turned around. It was Jake.
Wow.
So
how'd that go?
Yeah. It was all right. He seemed quite pleasant. Just had a little chat. Said you're welcome to the show tomorrow, and that was it really.
So the hatchet's been buried.
UFC legend Jorge Masvidal has never been one to pull punches. Jorge has had a spotty history with Jake, but in recent days it looks like they have mended their relationship. However, that did not stop Jorge from scorching Jake, saying that he thinks Mike Perry will beat the brakes off of Jake. I think I lean towards Jake the first 3 rounds. I think with his boxing, his range, he'll be able to keep up. But I think after that, it becomes a dogfight and Perry's going to get his hand raised. I just feel it, man. He could break him down by the 4th, 5th round. Jake's going to be tired from bouncing around running. He's going to have to fight and he's going to have to find out who the bigger dog is. I think Mike's willing to put himself in risk, and he knows also his abilities that he has, that he takes punches. He could also shield off with the big gloves, get in there and start to crack. I think mentally he's just going to break him down. Just see him walking him down eventually after round 4 and being able to really hurt Jake and getting him to quit maybe or knock him out. Sean O'Malley was thrilled to see Jake fighting Mike Perry. O'Malley was outwardly criticizing Jake for originally fighting Mike Tyson because he believed Tyson was simply too old and the fight wouldn't be serious. But with Perry, Sugar believes this will not only be Jake's hardest fight, but also believes that even though Perry is a bare-knuckle champion, Jake still ends up beating him.
Perry versus Jake Paul. I think it's more of a competitive match. I think Tyson was just a little bit too, aged, weathered. But I think Mike Perry versus Jake Paul is a very, very interesting, very competitive fight. I think it would be the most competitive fight Jake's had outside of the Tommy Fury fight. I would be very interested to seeing it, and I'm excited to see it. I think it's actually happening July 20th, and I don't know where, but God dang it, that's actually a tough fight to predict. Because Mike's in it, but he's in bare knuckle. It is a different sport, different size space to fight it, different range. It's it's very similar but very different. Jake's been boxing, Mike's been bare knuckle boxing. You just don't get it.
Retired UFC alum Michael Bisping has always shown a tad of a biased take on the side of the UFC fighters in this whole boxer-UFC crossover space. When it comes to his prediction on Jake Paul versus Perry, he thinks Jake Paul has made a huge mistake.
I say that he has made a big mistake here. The reason he called out Tommy Fury is because he was a YouTube star, okay? And he had the name Fury, and he thought he could beat him.
My son cannot beat me!
He didn't beat him, so he went back to people like Nate Diaz.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Smaller than him, not as strong as him, not as disciplined as him. But as I say, when you're talking about Mike Perry's a savvy. Listen, and he's got good technique. When you look at the boxing of Jake Paul, even though he was going up against Mike Tyson, there was a chance, there was the danger that he would lose that fight in devastating fashion. There was a danger he would get knocked out because he loops his shots. He's not technical, he's not sharp. Yeah, he's got power, he's a young man, he's in his prime, and he's not a bad lump of a man. So of course he's going to have power, and he's dedicated himself, and he's got some good trainers, and he's improving all the time. So fair play, I give him respect for that, because anyone that steps in the ring, they deserve your respect. They do, if you take it on tough tests. Now he thinks Mike Perry's easy work. He thinks Mike Perry's got a big name, he's a big star, and he's going to go out there and beat him, right? But he's wrong. Mike Perry is a fighter. Mike Perry wasn't necessarily the best jiu-jitsu artist or had the best wrestling. But there's not a fight that Mike Perry won't take. I've spoken to Mike Perry on several occasions, and he is the epitome of a real fighter.
How do Jake Paul and Mike Perry see this fight going? Well, this fight finally solidified Jake Paul as a legitimate fighter if he wins. Where does Jake Paul go if he loses? Like and comment your thoughts below.